Well, everyone's here.
I'm glad the
minutes
audio
behind.
wasn't working
That's
for the
okay.
first part. That would have been embarrassing. I'm here. I'm playing.
Shit, I might actually have to roll something up. Holy fuck. No,
Oh
like
my God.
seriously killing me. Okay, focus. Let's get into it. Focus. I'm telling that more to me than I am to you.
I'm focused.
I've got my fried rice. I'm ready.
Flied lice.
Oh,
All
I
right,
should
so
put
we
this
left
up
off
here.
back at the Cairona house. A meeting had been had. Now it's over, and you are left to your own devices.
Yes.
And I canonically fucked Vin's sister, so there's nothing left for me to do here.
Oh,
It's canon.
Oh.
I don't think
Between
that would
the trail of
realistically.
broken hearts.
I don't buy it with how things have been going.
Dude, that chibi sweater wave?
I just don't buy it.
Let's just fucking go.
Vin's sister has standards.
Something
Oh.
about arranged marriages and a different time.
You're gonna have to roll some dice if you're gonna ruin my backstory.
I'm gonna break apart Vin's household.
Join the club, apparently.
What do you mean? You didn't do anything.
Yeah, but your your dad likes me better than you remember. Your sister too.
Yeah.
Remember how much Vin was complaining about it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's my tragic backstory. Feel bad for me.
But I can make it more tragic.
Yeah.
Home wrecker.
This is a competition.
Okay, are we all here?
Yeah, everyone's here. Everyone's here. We're all showed up.
We're done playing House
I don't
Flipper.
think Chris is here. He's
I'm sorry, I'm putting on clean socks because my feet were sweaty and I couldn't focus because of how sweaty my feet were.
He rolls his own.
hell yeah,
Sorry.
this rocks.
He rolls his own.
Oh, so much better.
He rolls his
There you go. Sorry, I really am having like a fucking bad brain day, but I am trying, fellas. I really am trying.
Hell yeah.
I don't know. Nephis looks like hella disappointed after that meeting.
Hella disappointed, huh?
Yeah, he's disappointed from that meeting.
She'll help us. She'll help us, Mr. Nephis.
What was the point of the meeting, though?
Okay.
Stop. Stop. Stop.
What?
Everyone's waging war on me.
Alright. It seems we are at an impasse of what to do. We can either continue to the Tarvian Empire in the the Dordian
Tabernacle.
Tabernacle, or we can go north and we can try and fix Carlos.
What is north?
Oh, fucking dragon.
Let's not do that.
A dragon?
I
don't-
believe I believe the vampire is the more pressing issue.
Yeah, but dude, it's dragon.
I think Khutula's getting
Do the
excited.
vampires have a dragon? I don't think so.
Are you
Not that I
suggesting
know
we
of.
strike an alliance with the dragon?
It's not far from what you're suggesting,
mean-
Mr. Carlos.
We got a dragon to take us to Nicia, and then we just fuck their shit up. That'd be pretty cool.
Oh my.
What would stop the dragon from reigning over the island?
Oh.
Find a good dragon.
I mean, would you rather deal with a bunch of vampires that have their hands in like every government in the area, or do you want to deal with just one dragon?
Sure is
Preferably neither.
All right,
What would you
centrist.
prefer? A deep state syndicate that's manipulating the populace? That's too real.
Dragons
Let's
do
throw in a
that
dragon.
too.
They turn the human and fuck people.
I don't like a deep state syndicate unless I'm a part of it.
Yeah. We deal with the Telleriano. Tristan. Deal with him first.
Tristan.
Weaken the vampires.
Indeed. Eventually remove a thorn from our sides.
Yes.
Aye.
Oh.
Sorry.
Yes, Mr. Carlos always has a way of benefiting
So
from
do
our
we seek-
trials.
I suppose we seek assistance from the Tarvians then and see what they can do for us.
Seems like we'll need to head that way anyway.
The Tarvians, do they have any business in the kingdom of Rojaron? Would they even be any help? I'm not doing the Vin voice right today.
Perhaps they could assist with transportation? I don't know.
It's on the way either way.
Mr. Nephis has a boat.
Aye.
Well then, perhaps after we stop by the Tarvians and let them know what we're doing so they can be aware, we'll head to Mr. Nephis's boat and set sail.
Aye. Sounds like a plan.
Perhaps the
Aye.
Tarvians have some intel on on my nemesis. Never remember the name of
Tristan Valeriano.
Valeriano, yes. So we can strike down his creating empire. Perhaps they're also a thorn in the side of the Tarvians, and perhaps they provide some assistance in the matter to eliminate him.
I imagine we have to deal with him as trading empire probably has all the ocean routes mapped out, so I don't think we'd be able to avoid them if we went by ship.
Yes.
Perhaps if we were to strike colors from powerful, or at least influential nation, perhaps the Tarvians, then they would not bother us on the high seas. Remind me, was Nephis part of the Tarvian Navy?
I believe so.
So that wouldn't be completely out of the realm of possibilities, then, I imagine. Yes, perhaps some of your old Tarvian friends would allow you to use their colors, and perhaps that would just discourage enough from getting too close.
Is there a lot of issue with the Tarvian contested sea?
Good question.
Roll me history with advantage.
Copy that.
I see Mr. Carlos is finally warming up to my warship idea.
Well, not that we actually have a ship.
Which one's the bigger? The natural one?
Amazing.
An
Outstanding.
8.
I very much doubt that Tristan is engaging in piracy, so I'm sure that if he's not aware we've taken sail, then he wouldn't know to find us there.
Well, he seems to have gotten the best of you. Excuse me. He seems to have gotten the best of your surprise at every opportunity, Mr. Carlos.
He has far more resources than I do.
Yes. Most unfortunate.
Yes, well, perhaps we can tip the scales more into my favor.
Okay, sorry. What was your roll?
8.
8. You aren't really aware of the current naval situation as when you were sailing with the Navy. It was quite a while ago, and you're aware that times and security have changed since then.
Copy that.
However, I will say, you know that back when you were sailing, it was sort of towards the tail end of the fight between the Dordian Cognate and Tarvia. And the Dordians, while they weren't exactly fans of boats, they were fans of paying Norsemen and their boats to come down and raid Tarvian supply lines. But again, that was like towards the tail end of the war.
Mm-hmm. Well, we wouldn't have to worry about my question was, would the Tarvians like openly like be, I guess, like attacking and contesting like waters?
The Tarvians, if they were at war with another nation, another seafaring nation, yes, they would be doing that. However, when they're not at war, they mainly just do like essentially just maritime security and supply guarding.
Back when I was serving, the Dordians were using a lot of sea vessels, so there is a possibility, but after the war is ended, I couldn't tell you for certain.
Hell yeah.
Aye.
I'm sure Mr. Nephis is a capable captain.
Aye. We'll be the safest on the sea under my control of the vessel.
Yes.
Okay, so what's your immediate game plan?
So the plan is we're going to go to this Tarvian outpost in the Dordian Cognate, confer with them as to what's going on, what we're planning to do, and making them aware that, Tristan and Valeriano shipping is, basically helping the vampires who have taken over Nissia. Then going from there, seeing if they can provide aid so we can take them down.
Are we even certain that they would even hear our call, what with Anton being absent now?
Well, Mr. Nephis was part of their navy. That has to provide some sway.
Yes, but it was Anton's connect, I believe.
Perhaps his name will be enough.
I mean, otherwise we could just join up with the Triad forces that are marching south. They might be able to.
With the Cairona.
They might be able to help us with that.
Traveling with a group would definitely be safer. Hate for us to have to endure with what we did to get here. Or Vin being separated.
I think I did quite well for myself, Mr. Carlos.
Being harried at every waking moment by raiders and gnolls.
Yes, it's you that I worry about. It would cause me great dismay if one of you were to get hurt or die.
Believe you worry too much. We've made it this far. Some a little worse for wear, but nobody's died.
Yes.
Anton did come close, though.
Yes, Anton did.
Yes, you always have a way of saying that, Mr. Carlos.
Every struggle we survive merely makes us stronger.
I'd rather not struggle at all. Everything just... Never mind.
I imagine that's why you're so popular with your family.
Just Khutula say that.
Yeah.
Oh. Khutula has fangs today.
Yes. Vin shrugs. I was hoping that we would be family, but whatever.
Khutula's cranky about having been put in a position of faux leadership in front of all of his family.
Yeah. Never mind.
Alright. Isaac, when were the Triad forces preparing to march?
Was that covered in the briefing, Chris?
Conveniently, I'm actually writing that down right now. I was working on it in the background, thinking that this might be useful information. So yes.
Why don't we
Isaac just needs a moment to recall the information.
Why don't we travel with the Cairronas? We'd have more favor with them. Certainly.
They also
Aye.
they're also heading to the Tarvian outpost.
No.
I believe that
That
was
is
the
our-
case.
They're going to the kingdom of Rogeron.
Are they?
Oh, yeah. That was said in the meeting.
That was
yeah.
that was the updated meeting.
Mm.
Don't you
Don't you
recall?
remember?
Problem is that if we do go straight to Rogeron, then we won't be able to speak with the Tarvians at all.
Yes. Well, that might just be a waste of time.
Perhaps.
Okay, so you are aware that what was that? Who cares? In a few days' time, the forces from House Cairona, as well as I'll just say Drow forces because that'll be easier for me. They will be marching south to the Tarvian port or the Tarvian outpost to load up and then move to their next destination. They're using it as a stepping off point because it's one of the closest safe ports.
Which is their next point is,
and then they're moving on to attack. Not attack, sorry. Go after. Were they going into the kingdom of Rojaran? Because Rojaran's pretty neutral.
they were.
All I remember is you saying that the Drow Cairona forces were going west.
They were going. It was
They were
a
marching west,
personal
yeah.
mission of Matriarch Cairona to deal with the fucking warehouse. Shit.
Because I mean, Valeriano Shipping and Trade does have their headquarters in Chilnu in the Kingdom of Rojaran, so
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
I remember west. I know west is true. And it's
so they're basically going
and
south, getting on a boat, then sailing to Chilnu.
Oh.
Yes. Either that or they march their entire army through more Dordian Cognate territory, which is essentially like walking through a giant surprise box
So
Yeah.
this is
to get to it. So they're just going to go the
like,
shorter
the
distance.
greater Drow military is like attacking this trading company.
How many Drow are going?
Only a few thousand.
I'm going, Carlos.
Oh,
Only a few thousand. Just gonna
It's
fucking
not-
go to.
It's not the entire military, and they're not specifically going to attack like a single shipping and trade company. Are you sure it was marching west or marching to the west marches? Because there is a place called the West Marches,
I
and
said,
there's an active
I
conflict.
only recall west.
okay, my mind is like a steel cage. I fucking remember this.
My mind is not right now, and I don't have it written down, and I've had a pretty
Okay, okay.
generally
I
not
remember.
upsetting as in
I
upset, but
remember
upsetting as in like,
vividly.
okay, then I trust you. If
Okay.
that's what they're doing, then they're going that way, and I
No. This is what happened. Vin called the meeting to get the assistance of Lady Cairo, Matriarch Cairona, to go to Nisia and assist them with the vampires. She said no. I'm going after the warehouse guys because I don't like them. And she said marching west.
There you go. Okay. I don't remember it. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying I don't remember it because again, it's just
I
a lot of shit
know,
going
but
on, so if
I
that's what it said,
remember-
then that's what I said, and that's how it's happening.
I'm remembering.
Okay, I trust you.
Why do we have weapons in our like card hands?
you're welcome.
Why do I have a longsword?
Whoa.
Because you have a
Oh,
long
I'll
sword.
take that then if you
Oh,
don't want
that
it.
isn't. I haven't updated my sheet in a while. I actually have a short sword.
What is it?
Well,
Do they do anything?
I don't know.
Yeah, they're weapons, genius. You kill people.
Oh, if I need to like drop it or something, that's cool.
Yeah, they're like
Yeah,
little
there.
tokens.
Cool.
Oh, that's
Now
sick.
now it's a short sword. I just renamed it.
Oh, I can name mine. I'm gonna name
Eric
mine.
here looks badass. Can I get a crossbow as well if it's not too much trouble?
Hey, can I get a longbow?
Oh, I thought I gave you one.
Can I get
There
a
you go.
loot?
That's what I forgot. I have to make these. Okay, I'll go look on the internet and
I have to
No,
make
don't.
these.
Okay, so Drow, to the tune of 6,000 troops, are
Oh.
going marching west to their objective. The Triad, with a so far indeterminate amount of troops, is marching south to Nicaea because they don't like vampires.
So what's
And those are the only two military forces. No, that's not true. Those are not the only two military forces. You are aware that the West marches are gathering levies. And
We know they're in alliance with the Triad because I was told
So-
that and I share that.
They're holding fast in the east against the orcs. And you know, operatives in the Thieves Guild are trying to seek out intel as well as conduct their own counter spy shit against Valeriano.
They're
shipping and
sending
trade.
like a legion of infantry to. Jesus.
Once again,
The Drow
the
don't fuck around.
matriarch isn't sending an entire army just to like kill one guy. She's got other plans. There's a bigger,
right on.
Okay, so
bigger thing.
okay, so is the army marching across land to the west, like to where? One of these places.
She's going to
The
order the
boat.
troops, or the troops are going to go by boat because it would take them less time, and they wouldn't have to walk across Dorian territory.
So, regardless of what army we go with, they're both going here first.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh.
Well, Vin,
Is
since it doesn't particularly matter which army we go with, then yes, we'll go with the Cairronas and company.
I must ask my wife.
Your wife is part of the battle pack. She's actually commanding a cohort.
Oh.
Damn, she's a.
You can go to war with your wife.
I do not
Then-
go to war, Mr. Carlos.
Isn't that what we've been doing this whole time? Going to war?
Yes, it's
surviving.
If you've had if you had the entire say of the group, then yes.
Oh.
Big up Sprocket in chat. Hell yeah, dude.
Hi, Sprocket.
Alright. Then yeah, I guess we're gonna be chilling until they leave. They're going with them.
Yes.
I trust
Make
my
it so.
kind more than the Triad forces, certainly.
So
A bunch of
you
tiny
are
men.
aware that the Drow are marching with 5,500
Oh,
infantry of various, 5,500 foot troops and 500 cavalry.
Oh?
oh my god. That's so many. Okay.
Again, this is not the entire force.
I understand.
This is like
I understand.
this is a portion. They have most of their troops, or a decent number of their troops, are still guarding the gate.
Eat
Yes,
your
it is
portion.
significant. The Triad plus dwarves, let's say, because they're
It wasn't like the
They're
kingdom
hanging
of like Britain, like in their height, like only had like 15,000 guy.
yes, but the Kingdom of Britain at their height wasn't as big as the entire United Drow like kingdoms.
The United States of Drow.
It's not United States of, well, yes, essentially, except
Yes.
they're not all always
feudal
100%
states.
united. So these 3 or 4 houses that are grouped up together
They've
are
brokered a
producing
deal.
yeah, they're producing a larger force because of that.
Yes.
They've come to bargain.
I don't busy myself with the politics.
So Triad plus dwarves, they're sending 400 dwarves, which is a lot for them.
400
And
of
the
them, and you can
Triad are
see over
sending-
everyone.
350 of their elite troops, their best troops, which was basically most of the Triad's
Which aren't
expeditionary force,
dwarves.
plus 150 cavalry,
Fucker.
Vin's
plus-
racism confirmed. Confirmed
Amazing.
correct.
plus another 60 flying troops. Is the Triad.
Yes.
So that's your force composition, and they're all marching south. The only difference is the Triad and the dwarves are going to go to a different place, and the Drow are going to move to their own theater of war. I will
Okay.
ask Vinshenzo, as you are a baron, a land-holding, power-wielding baron of one of the kingdoms of
I
the
was
West
wondering
Marches.
about that.
You're the boss. You have the ability to organize
Raise
your
men
own
at
stuff
arms.
if you so choose.
Vin in
Curious as
charge
to
of an
what you would
army.
think Vin's
Yes.
captain of the guard in charge of an army.
He, If Carlos didn't
Khutula.
just insult me, I would have given him command of the troops.
Carlos didn't say that. It was me.
I know.
Looks like Cthulhu's general now.
I don't know.
Yahoo!
I don't know if Vin would trust you with any of you with an army, and he wouldn't trust himself either.
He'd probably just give it to his wife.
Yes.
As he
Look,
should.
look, darling, look at this gift I have for you. Men at arms,
These
aren't they
men I
lovely?
have-
Oh yeah,
Mustard.
she's in command of the barony now. Definitely. She would.
Oh, you let her be the super chief squeef?
Yeah, I
That's
was.
just how shit works.
I was saying that would happen, and then you said, "Oh, you have to wait to get to the Cairona house to like officiate it." So it's been officiated.
Deadly. Done. Okay, so your wife is in charge.
She would know
Well-
exactly what to do.
So
None
now
of-
she's a baroness?
Well, she was
always a
Baroness.
baroness, Mr. Carlos.
Oh.
The only difference is he took off the pants and put them on her body, and then there you go.
He never
Now
had
she's-
them on. He had them folded.
He had them folded, and they presented the pants to
I
her. So now
folded
she's...
them. I did the laundry, honey.
So are you gonna send? Let me ask you this: what do you think you would involve yourself in as her husband? Would you send messages and stuff for her because
I would
because you're capable of doing that? Or
Yeah.
would you let her?
I
have
would
her
do
own
like
staff?
any of the legwork needed for the baron, as like required by a baron/baroness, and I would
Mhm.
like leave like any like military like
Stuff.
action decisions up to her. Vin would happily do any like clerical stuff or whatever, I guess.
We'll say in the
And if you want
background
me
that
to
you
like
establish
decide
contact
how many men at arms or whatever legionaries she would canonically raise,
No, I can figure that stuff out.
I can do that.
I'm happy to do that in the background if it's her taking it over. I just wanted to know. I just wanted to understand.
Vin would have secret talks with her about wanting to secede from the Cairona family. And
Secret talks with her wanting to secede from Cairona House.
to leave the Drow culture behind.
Ah,
Oh.
So she would have some stay at home to defend as well.
mhm.
Plus, it's like in the Kingdom of Vales, so the Vales Kingdom would probably be like, "Hey, you better keep some here for us." Like, as part of like the land and title like agreement would be like, you'd have to have this many guys for us.
Mhm.
Probably. That's how stuff worked back then.
Answagen, no.
I don't know. It's all screwed up.
It's okay. I can handle this. It's fine.
I can't.
She would
Panicking.
leave a capable employ.
Jesus Christ.
A capable
Ugh.
employ.
I cannot take good notes.
Hey,
I don't know,
Chris, it was you who decided there were thousands of troops.
It's me who decided that. I calculated it. I made a
I counted each and every
Yes.
one of them.
I counted them all.
How
They
many
all have
troops
names.
does the Cairona barony have?
Oh, you're not quite able to muster
Like
the same
12?
power that these
Like-
guys. So professional troops, professional grade
Yeah.
soldiers, you don't have many of.
Yeah.
You really don't have many of those.
Yeah, there's like
However-
knights and then there's men at arms.
Well, yeah. So you have your highly super professionally done the fucking Cavaliers, those super elite Eldritch Knights,
Oh,
and they are, because they are Aurelian, which is the kingdom that you are underneath. Like you do have an entire 12 Aurelian Cavaliers that are assigned to your territory, and they're there to guard guard the possessions of the crown / the barony itself. So sort of like your house guard or huscarls. So they've been hanging out. They've been hanging out there, keeping everything kosher. You also have a small cadre of professional soldiers who occupied the castle that is part of your province.
Yes.
And then the rest of it would be civilian levies raised from the population. So you would have to give the order to raise levies, and that would be the bulk of the fighting force.
Yes.
So professional soldiery, you can muster about 75 men.
Oh.
And that's including the cavaliers. So that's your castle garrison.
That's pretty
plus
good for a barony.
cavaliers. Yeah. And then you'd be able to muster like maybe a 100 or 200, depending on how aggressively you conscript your civilians.
I leave that up to my better half.
Yeah, well, she's going to, with your assistance in the background, muster those guys and have them waiting at the border of the West Marches and the Dordian Cognate to join up with the main fighting force. And then either
good luck, Kingdom of Rojaron. Carlos is home. Carlos
is coming home at the head of an army.
War on his homeland indirectly. We're attacking your home, Carlos. These are your soldiers.
Okay. Well, if you guys are gonna
oh my god.
You guys are gonna move with the main force.
I'll move with my wife.
Okay.
I'll follow everyone.
Well,
I'll go with the flow.
For the ease of the sake of simplicity, the army is gonna leave tomorrow.
Okay.
Wow. What timing?
Yes. Very convenient.
I bid farewell to all my family.
So that was...
No doubt I'm getting praised for going to war.
So Andro V and Amethre are the two captains that are leading the House Cairona portion of the military force, and Ristel II is accompanying as a camp follower. So you were being congratulated on being brave enough to accompany your spouse to her line of duty, which I assume.
Yes.
I'm going to assume that might not be something Vinshenzo has done very much.
I've never done that.
Okay, so that would definitely be I will say that is something that you would get praise for and
I will
compliments
sing
for.
songs of her triumphs.
Oh.
Are we gonna see my wife in combat? Do I need to roleplay my wife?
That depends on you.
I will. She's always angry, just like me. She's perfect.
She's perfect. Look at those.
I want problems.
Aggressive eyes.
Always.
That malevolent scowl.
I guess I'm curious, like, what the Drow Legion is like after.
Okay.
I feel like Carlos would like want to know.
So the Drow Triad, the West Marches, the Thieves Guild, and Tarvia, somewhat, and the somewhat is just because no one's managed to get an official diplomatic contact with them, have all teamed up against essentially the axis of evil. So the orcs, the vampires, there's the crazy dragon cult, which you guys have come into plenty of contact with, Tristan Valeriano and his assholes. So they're going up against that. So they're grouping up and working together to fuck with the people that are fucking with peace and the general like safety of the world.
So the Drow are working with the Triad.
The Drow, the Triad, the West Marches are all working together as a unified front. They're working together. They're not bestest of friends, but they have all recognized that they need to give each other a helping hand.
The enemy of our enemy is the enemy.
Yeah, pretty much.
Aye.
Their enemies, everybody's individual enemies are all working together against them collectively. So all of everybody else, they decided to band up as well. So instead of fighting a collective alone, you're now fighting a collective as a collective.
Okay, that makes more sense to me now then.
Yeah.
I do hope the Drow get a seat at the League of Nations for this.
They do. That's why they did it, because they would increase their power and influence and their money.
Yes.
Word.
Okay, so you're all just patiently waiting to tag on to the back of a giant line of people.
I bid farewell to my family and colleagues.
Nephis gathers his stuff and waits.
Okay.
Gather the sled.
I prepare my sack.
No.
I prepare my sack.
Oh. Here we go. So the journey following a big ass army is a fairly safe. However, it will take a lot longer to travel, to the tune of about 3 weeks worth of marching from the mountains as a big ass chunky block through the Dordian Khaganate to the to the Tarvian base.
Perhaps we'd be better off if we left now then.
I will point out
Fucking God.
for a general statement that the Triad is sending their like garrison of flying dudes first, who will get there in a matter of days, given the fact that they are flying.
Yes, but perhaps we could get there instantly. With my father's help. My
I have
father.
a bad feeling about this.
You can travel over there and talk to him if you want.
I travel over there.
Oh, father.
Well, if the party is willing to
Well,
use
you-
magic to get over there and infiltrate. Where are we?
Sure.
Where are we going exactly?
You're going to the Tarvian outpost of Girasa.
Yes.
Grasa.
Maybe we should just.
Gerasa. Gerasa.
That's going to add so much time to our voyage for a favor that we don't even know if we'll be able to get. Look, we're adding like 10 million miles to our voyage.
What? How do you figure?
Because of this giant fuck off peninsula.
It'd probably be
Remember-
faster to still go over water than it would to go over land.
But what's
Remembering
about to
that the
over
Dordian
magic,
Khaganate is
Mr.
full of-
Carlos?
Magic.
Rivers.
Is Vin just wanting to like magic over to Chilnu and just be like, yeah, and then be there?
Yeah. That's what
okay.
Vin is proposing.
Wants to group teleport us.
Yeah.
I don't believe in fast
Falador
traveling.
Telly other. It's
But I haven't been there before. How am I supposed to fast travel?
maybe my father has been there.
So you take the time to go and travel and visit your father, and he tells you that he has not traveled the overworld before, the
Oh.
Overbright, and he would have to rely on a description of the place.
That sounds dangerous. With how much Mr. Carlos likes to embellish.
So yeah, he's willing to do it, but he's never seen it before, and he would have to rely on a description from someone.
A drawn dream.
Drawn dream.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm willing to risk it.
Carlos is not.
Oh. Well, there goes the element of surprise.
I have it here. I'm ready. I'm willing. If you're willing.
All I'm saying is that if the description is off, if my memory has faltered in any way, we could end up on some far-flung city on the other side of the world,
Yes.
or worse.
I'm
That-
trusting
then-
you, Mr. Carlos.
I don't trust myself with that, so
Oh.
Well, that will be weeks at sea, no doubt.
It'll be fun.
Yes.
Bitch.
It'll be a nice change of pace.
From what? Mr. Stormwind?
From loads and loads of ground travel.
if you're looking to avoid time spent traveling, perhaps the Triad could offer some services.
It's not that I'm wishing to avoid traveling. I've traveled a great amount in the past year. It's the opportunity of having the element of surprise.
Either way, I believe the Triad would probably be our best bet.
No, I don't think they do well with the element of surprise.
Oh, they survived the vampires when they rescued us.
Yes, well, I'm still not entirely convinced.
Furious typing.
It's me. I'm typing furiously. Sorry.
If we teleport there, wouldn't we be left out without support?
Yes.
Isn't the whole point of going with the army was that we had an army?
The only support we'd have is
And the whole point
my guild.
is to restore Carlos's house and get rid of these people who have sided with the vampires, since you lot are so intent on getting revenge on them. I'm trying to think logically.
I thought we previously had agreed that we'd deal with Tristan and possibly leave Nissia alone. Our meeting with the Tarvian fucking stronghold was to be our determining factor.
Very well. Well, I suppose it's a place to go to.
The more and more we speak about these vampires, possibly dragons even, makes me wonder how much I'll put up with.
Yes. I'm not even sure that if I were to hand Carlos's house back to him on a silver platter, he'd even take it. Shall we step off?
I just wanted a simple adventure.
Just wanted money.
He just wanted a boat.
Please let this be a normal field trip.
And you'll be
Yeah, that's not gonna happen.
you'll be on your
No
boat
way.
in no time, Mr. Nephis. I'll make arrangements for them to swim your ship.
They won't board your ship. We'll have the finest slaves trolley it. They'll be swimming the seas.
Is that something we can do? We can get them to. Oh, thank you, Kitty. We can get someone to. We can get Nephis's like crew or whatever to bring the
his
ship around.
His ship is docked in your province.
In your guys' place.
That's
your castle.
That's
you
what I'm
have troops
asking.
that need to go there. 100%. They can get on the boat and crew the ship to the Tarvian outpost and meet you there. Absolutely, they can.
Okay. I was just
And
seeing if that
your
was
ship
possible.
can even take the troops from your garrison and get them there too.
I will have my wife send for your ship, Mr. Nephis.
Make sure whoever's handling my ship does it with care.
I believe it's your crew. Wouldn't
I
it
do not have a crew.
Wouldn't it be?
I didn't take any titles as you did. Just the ship. That's all I wanted.
Now who drives the ship?
Me.
Okay.
Nephis does everything.
Solo
Just
galleon.
running up and down the length of the ship.
That was the whole point of the ship.
Very well.
Everyone else on dog watch.
I'll be on dog watch.
I'm to man the helm, the sails, the food.
That would be impossible.
You're to tend the dog.
The cannons.
Okay.
No one man can command it. What kind of ship is it in again? Nephis?
It's supposed to be a fishing schooner.
A fishing schooner.
I don't know exactly in the terms
Does
of.
it have any guns?
No.
No.
Some warship then.
I see Carlos is
not
finally
meant to
coming
be.
around to my warship idea.
It's my ship. I wanted it this way.
How big is this?
What?
How big is a schooner?
I don't know. That's for Chris to help me out with. He's the one who gave it to me.
Schooner, a sailing ship rigged with fore and aft sails and its 2 or more masts.
Yeah, schooners are big. You'd have like a crew of like 12 at minimum, probably.
These vessels were cargo carriers of between 200 and 400 tons, requiring a crew of 6 to 8.
Oh.
Oh.
Hey, we're 6 to 8. Well, almost.
We must wait for Gabe.
I haven't gotten anything back from him.
He said he couldn't attend this week, but maybe next time.
Okay. Well, that's. I'm glad he told someone.
He said it in the chat.
Did he?
Yes.
Bit.
Okay.
Or
I didn't notice.
Yep, we're standing by here, Commander.
I intended for us to be the crew.
Ah, there it is.
well, I know very little about that, but I will help where I can.
You'll catch on quickly, Carlos.
I can play jaunty shanties to keep morale high.
Aye.
I don't know, Vin. You might need to get a few calluses on those hands.
I do, Carlos, from playing my instruments.
Then you're halfway there.
I will copy Draenor Maynor.
I would play until my fingers bled when I was a child.
Oh.
My mother would
That's
get
fucked up.
very upset with me. Because... Never mind. A hypochondriac.
Dies from playing instruments.
Yeah. Oh,
Okay, so your plan is appreciate this.
it's
Oh,
beautiful.
are we supposed to see it? Okay. I was
No,
gonna
it's
throw it
okay.
away.
Flip it over.
I'll put it in my little bag.
Oh, I
Oh,
can.
then it has to be.
Here, I'll help. Yeah.
Put in. It's now ready.
It's
Taking the opportunity to plan ahead because I know where you guys are going, but you're still. I haven't
Okay,
registered a concrete travel plan.
we're setting off with the army. Ready your
Cool.
sled, Mr. Nephis. I believe the troops are about to be ready.
That's what I'm doing.
Oh,
We're all gathering our.
Well,
You're
good.
preparing your sack.
good work then.
Okay, so you're traveling with the army. So
The
all
Drow
of
militia.
you, if you are going via the Drow and you do not already have a horse, you will be offered a mount because you guys are
I have a
attached to
horse
important people.
and a dog.
You have a horse and a dog. It's true. But those of you who don't, you are offered lizard mounts
Oh,
Oh God.
Oh.
because
Bet
that's what
Carlos
they
would
have
like
is
that.
lizard cavalry.
Khutula doesn't know how to ride a horse.
do they run like salamanders where they like squiggle?
Squiggle.
Carlos doesn't know how to ride a lizard.
I am not proficient in lizards.
A riding lizard.
Oh.
I never learned to ride lizard. You'll have to teach me.
Oh,
Mr.
Yes.
Carlos.
Yeah.
There's
So they have
one
lizard.
lizard I'd like to.
Oh no.
How many horses do we have again? 3? 4?
I have my horse that I ride
Vin
upon.
has a horse. Nephis has a horse. I think maybe.
All right, and then I took the other one because we took the carriage horses.
Yes.
Yes.
And then Anton had his own horse. That is.
There's also baggage trains and shit and carts and all that kind of stuff. Like there is. Yeah, there is options. Point
We
is,
must
you're
download
all,
Box Loader for the next part of this campaign.
So I assume nobody's being taking up the offer of a riding lizard.
I
It's okay to say no.
I'm half tempted.
I'm just asking, so I know how to write things down.
I
just
do
put in the
not
notes.
care for such creatures.
Yeah, you know what? Isaac's gonna give it a try.
They remind me of. Never mind. I won't. I promised someone I wouldn't speak of it again.
Khutula doesn't know.
It is a large beast.
It is
How big
approximately
compared to a
large.
horse?
It is a fuck you. I wanted to say that. It is approximately
Horses are also large.
Large. You can only mount creatures one size bigger than you.
Oh. Well, I'm right at that. Can I get a medium?
Carlos could ride
If
my
you are
dog.
classified as tiny, you can ride a medium creature. Yes.
You can ride a dog.
Hop
Here we go. Riding
aboard.
lizards are large reptiles commonly found in the Underdark, measuring around 20 to 22 feet in length. Riding lizards are quick and agile. Half of that length is comprised of tail.
Ah. You said you can only ride things one size higher than you?
Yeah, they have to be one size bigger than you.
They have to be at least one size bigger, or they
I
can
believe
only
they
be...
have to at least.
Okay.
So if you're medium, you can't mount a medium creature.
Yeah.
I am curious about this because I'm curious. I'm just gonna check that.
Can we stuff
Curious.
fucking Carlos in a bag and just carry him?
Not funny because I believe
throw him over the bridge.
small creatures can ride dogs.
Yes, Carlos could ride my dog, but I wouldn't let him.
Oh.
Yes, let me get a saddle for Vin's dog.
That would be so, like, demeaning if you were at one point a human.
Right.
Here you can
Kardoc
ride my
loves
dog.
it.
By rules, a mount may be any willing creature that is at least one size larger than the rider and has the appropriate anatomy for riding. Halflings, gnomes, goblins, and kobolds are all classified as small creatures and may ride medium-sized mounts such as goats, giant frogs, wolves, dolphins, and mules. Small creatures may even ride on the back of a larger ally, but your dungeon master would need to deem that ally's anatomy to be rideable and be considered a mount by the rules. That's right. I'm the ultimate decision in how mountable you are.
Oh, Jesus.
Who would have
Look, I'm just reading the rules, man. Who'da thunk? Nephis is exceptionally unrideable.
I'm not strong, but Isaac is.
He's feisty. Isaac rides the lizard. Carlos rides Isaac.
Whoa.
If you want to make it dirty, you can, but we're talking about, like, animals here.
Okay, let's
Yeah, I was just
decide
who
who's
knows
riding
what-
which creature.
Isaac is interested in having his own lizard.
I live on my horse.
I already bought a horse. I don't need another one.
Look, I've never ridden a lizard before.
I live in my house.
Okay, so here is how it goes. You guys, actually, let me ask this first because we're going to go down an irreversible thing. Is there anything anybody would like to do before you all fuck off into the woods with a bunch of dudes?
I have
armor?
all my provisions in order.
Cool.
Aye.
I have everything I could get that I want to get.
Cool.
I think I'm good.
Cool. All right. Khutula, I assume. I'm not going to assume anything. What say you?
I touch my
Oh, muted
penor.
one. Khutula
No.
touches her penor.
Oh, no.
Xane didn't say that.
Oh, no.
Vin just doesn't know. It's fine.
Ah!
Okay, I will proceed under the assumption that
We're
everybody's happy to carry
going.
on.
Yeah, we're ready.
So one day of travel takes you all to the Forge, where you link up with Triad commanders and the Dwarven troops, and who then tag along as a separate trailing column. You spend the first night at the Forge. The entire Drow force is incapable of entering into the mountain. There are too many of them, so they essentially camp in the valleys to the south of the mountain. And then when the troops of the Triad and the Dwarven army head out, they are accompanied by the Griffin, the riders of the Griffins that support the Triad, as well as several winged humanoids who you don't see up close until the second day when you don't see up close. You don't really see them until the second day when you take off marching with the larger force. An immediate detail is to notice that while everybody is working together, there is no attempt in pretty much any point in time, aside from the Triad and the Dwarves, where the separate forces even bother to intermingle. Those are really tiny weapons. That's cute. So they, even though everyone's friends, no one's being friendly.
See.
Vinshenzo, as the designated court reporter for your wife, you receive information on the second day that Nephis's ship has set sailed with the full complement of 175 Aurelian troops.
Oh,
And you've also been informed that a company of yeoman cavalry from other Aurelian provinces have been mustered up to go provide assistance for the battle group as you're traveling, and they will meet you. They will ride hard to meet you and help escort you through the Dordian Cognate.
It's outstanding.
Yeah. The first week of travel, the army, as most of the army being Drow, have no fucking idea where they're going. Realistically, they've never been into the Overbright, and they don't really have a lot of experience navigating in the Overworld.
Are they traveling at night?
They're traveling at day.
Oh.
big mistake.
However, the Drow bring magical complement.
Sunglasses.
No, they actually have like sorcerers / wizards with them as part of the military force, and they are able to cast enough overhead weather to keep the Drow from overly being inconvenienced by the bright light of the sun.
What a bunch of schmucks.
No, that's the way it is. So if you were to look at this marching army with a bird's eye view, you would see columns of thousands of Drow marching with clouds over their heads to protect them from the sun, and then blocks of dwarves and a mix of other.
I don't know whether that's cool or really obnoxious.
It's not like there's a rain cloud cartoon right above their heads or anything. They're just marching in the shade, in spot shades. It kind of looks like they're just chasing a cloud, except they're not. The cloud's chasing them. So for the first week,
to be Joseph angled too.
Given the unfamiliarity and the insistence of the Dark Elves that they proceed first, as they are numerically and martially superior, you are requested, Vinshenzo, to deploy your knights as scouters and schooners for the army formation.
I do that?
You are requested to do that.
Wait, which knights? Me and Khutula, or the Cavaliers?
Cavaliers haven't met you yet. They're meeting you in Gerasa.
Oh, I'm being told to order the party around?
They're your knights.
Yes.
And the army commanders want you to deploy your knights to scout. Because you know the lay of the land and you're used to traveling in the Overbright.
Well, there's 4 of us though. Wouldn't we just travel together as we always have?
That's up to you to develop the plan. You've been
I don't
given
know
your
where
marching
we
orders.
Your stupid
You're-
family's telling you things in a stupid way.
You're traveling
Congratulations.
south. The first week of travel towards the Tarvian. Look at the map.
Right.
You are going
Bitch.
there. You are coming from here. It's going to take 3 weeks. You're going south.
Yes. Mr. Nephis is good enough at scouting ahead.
It's big. It's big open, like the same steppe grasslands of the Dordian Cognate.
I appoint Mr. Nephis as the forward scout.
Okay. Well,
I don't
Mr.
want it.
Nephis.
I don't.
You've been doing it all this time.
Wasn't it Mr. Isaac that was guiding us through the flatlands?
This is
All
home-
right.
This is home turf.
Just goes in a corner, is just like, man.
Right.
Mr. Isaac, be so good as to lead us.
We're not
on
near
our
the
way.
coast. I forgot about your favored terrain in your character sheet.
I don't want to.
I don't want.
I appoint Mr. Isaac Stormwind as the scout leader until we reach the coast, in which case Mr. Nephis will relieve him.
Yes, we'll do that.
All right. Well, the first scout up. I'd like you to roll me a D100.
Oh my. I'm glad it's not Mr. Nephis rolling.
14.
Roll these.
Oh no.
Okay.
I'm assuming Isaac gets some kind of advantage since this is his favorite terrain.
I don't have favorite terrain.
Oh, never mind.
I'm not a ranger.
Yes, but it's your
I don't know, you're
Besides,
every-
not a
you're
survival
everything
roll.
else.
This is a random roll.
it's your
This is a random
homeland.
roll. Yes.
You're
Roll
everything
two
else.
D100s and add them up, and then divide by
2.
200, so you can get a small number.
So, as you are scouting, are you scouting like? Describe how you are choosing to forge ahead of this army. Are you staying within eyesight? Are you ranging ahead? Are you?
Wait, Isaac
assuming I'm assuming they have some kind of reconnaissance unit.
They have their complement of cavalry, but the lizard cavalry that they're using are screening the flanks as well as ahead a little bit, but they're not ranging too far.
Okay, let me
Yeah,
So
ask.
they don't have particular scouts.
They've asked you to be the scouting element. Or
Okay.
More specifically, Vinshenzo.
In that case, I would probably have taken either Nephis or Carlos with me and ridden ahead, consulting both maps and my memory of this area.
Awesome.
Yes.
Would you like to choose Carlos or Nephis? Thing is,
Actually, I would ask both of them.
What about
they can
me and
choose.
Khutula? I'm stupid.
I'm going to ignore that, Vin even.
This is
Look,
the first time I've
this is
left
not
my
not
house.
something I expect Vin to be good at.
to be fair, Vin successfully navigated like the steps all by himself and brought a
Eventually.
prisoner back.
Eventually.
Okay, bitch. I'll remember that when I'm lost in the steppe and you guys need reinforcements.
I'll remember the next time I get lost.
Nephis is a skill tracker, so he would be good to have with me.
Yes.
And Carlos is a perceptive motherfucker.
So all three of you are gonna be going out and scouting ahead.
Yes.
Roll me, each of you. Actually, no, you're all pretty high perception. You've spotted
Oh,
in the middle of the steppe a man in rags who seems to be walking south as well.
Oh.
He is shuffling more than he is walking, dragging his feet and slowly marching. It's hard to see what race this stranger is due to the heavy rags that are about his body.
a simple pigeon tender.
I say, what does that old man think he's doing out here?
He could have been ambushed. Or one of the raiders. It could be a trap.
Think we should scout it out first before the army comes through.
Yeah, we should definitely check it out. No one has a spyglass or binoculars or something of the like.
No, those are expensive.
I've got my 2025 vision.
Ah,
I think spyglasses are like
your human eyes see.
what do you
Figure.
You
I
own
see
a
an old man
castle, Carlos. You have no excuse.
Yes, let me sell this castle for a spyglass.
Yeah.
We have billions of
How many
money.
spyglasses can I get for this castle?
Even if he had it, he wouldn't share it.
Yeah.
He never showed me his timepiece.
Shall we head out to the old man then and see what's going on?
Oh yeah, fuck. Spyglass is 1,000 gold.
Yeah.
Nephis is gonna buy one now.
Hell yeah.
I wasn't using that money.
A ship's captain should have one.
Indeed.
Okay. I clop along my way.
Yeah.
Clop, clop. Okay, so
I ride towards the man
Yes.
at an acceptable speed.
at an acceptable speed.
Aye.
The individual, let's see if he notices you. He does not.
Oh.
Nephis whistles at him when we get less than 60 feet away from him.
So as you ride up, there we go. You, the individual finally turns, and you notice that it is, in fact, yeah. I think. Screw it. I don't really care enough about race rarity, but you notice that it is a tiefling that is dressed in in rags. And his two horns are just barely visible under the hood of his traveler's rags.
How common are tieflings to this land?
Uncommon.
Tiefling.
Known. They are known, but they are uncommon.
They're demons, Carlos.
There are no communities or establishments or other nations or anything. These are not creatures that are encountered every single day. They are just common enough that they're identifiable. Similar to how you can identify an elephant even if you've never seen one because you've heard stories.
Copy that. Nice.
Or maybe you've seen one in passing in a very
Well,
like metropolitan area. But you are aware as well. Generally, these are creatures to be most people. The most flat, easy analogy I'm going to use is it's like encountering a large black man at night when you're a small woman. You're gonna cross to the other side of the street, unless you. There you go.
Oh my!
They're cursed. They're unlucky. They're black cats. They're all that kind of stuff.
I say, is that a tiefling?
They're known to cohort with demons. Oh.
Nephis immediately stops his sled and stands up, holding his hand on his hilt.
Okay. Well, he turns around and he seeing you, he immediately seeing all three of you, he casts his arms quite wide open to show sort of harmlessness. And he as he does that, you notice that he is wearing half plate quite tattered and not in very good maintenance. He is also carries at his hip scimitar, or carries at his waist a scimitar, but it's sheathed. He also had in one hand a walking stick, but he quickly dropped it as you guys came up upon him in the way that you did.
Nephis stands his ground.
Okay.
Doesn't speak.
Carlos hops up to the front of the sled, near the front of the sled, and calls out, "Tiefling, what brings you here alone in the middle of nowhere? Seems a little suspicious to that."
The tiefling addresses Carlos and he says, "Hail, good master! I am but a weary traveler who's come into misfortune. Please show kindness on this hot day. I am desperate for some water. If you could provide me a drink, it is quite parching work traveling this wasteland."
How did you come to be here?
"I was stranded. My mount was killed, and my belongings have been lost to me, eaten by a savage beast."
What
Nephis
beast did
rolls
this?
insight.
Okay.
Can I roll insight
Mm-hmm.
to sort of just get a feel for how honest he appears to be?
Yeah, let's all roll insight. Let's do that. It's a thing.
Fucking eat my ass.
I also rolled the same as Devon, so we're probably of a mind.
Wow, we did not roll well.
Those are solid rolls.
There we go. 9, 9, 10.
This is what happens when you fucking bandwagon, you fucking pussies.
Damn, he's right.
Oh,
Each of you individually are
oh.
having the cultural stigma surrounding tieflings makes it hard for you to really objectively look at this person. You're having trouble not taking his words at face value, if that makes sense. You're inclined to think ill of him because of who he is, or
it's
because of what he is.
very charming.
All right. Well,
What a
back
handsome
to this
lad.
creature.
You what? Sorry.
What?
Say that again, Chill.
Well, back to the question then that was asked
Yes.
about this creature.
Sorry, what was the question? Can you just prompt me on it again?
Carlos asked about the creature that killed his mount and ate his gear.
Yeah, also, I'd like to use my medallion of thoughts on him.
Okay.
Oh,
So
Damn.
this is the rules on it.
we're
So as long as I only skim the surface thoughts of it, so that's like the start. So as long as I only skim the surface thoughts of them, they're not aware, and I basically get to gleam like their surface level thoughts. If I try to probe deeper, then they become aware of the actual spell.
Yes. A medallion of thoughts.
And if I do try to probe deeper, then they have to roll against it.
A very
It's just a thing you can do. It's not a roll or anything. All right.
Yeah. Pretty much, unless I want to probe deeper and actually like go into their mind, which he's not going to try right now.
a very tempestuous
Sorry, that's me.
artifact.
I just want to.
Yeah, go ahead.
So you can use an action and expend one charge to cast Detect Thoughts spell from it. The medallion regains 1d3 expended charges daily at dawn. For the duration, you can read the thoughts of certain creatures. When you cast a spell, and as your action on each turn until the spell ends, you can focus your mind. And then it says here. Okay. Where did you get this page 3? I only asked because I checked on Roll20 really quickly and it doesn't have this second section.
I'm pretty sure I got that from the Detect Thoughts spell. Let me look.
Yeah. It probably just from the detect thoughts
Yes.
spell.
Yep, you did.
That's
Okay.
likely.
That is likely.
Yeah.
Carlos's equipment.
So even though it says you cast the detect thought spell, save DC, it doesn't actually matter unless you're using the full intensity of the detect thoughts.
Yes.
Got it. Okay.
That's the way I interpreted it.
I am interpreting it the same way now that I can understand the full train of that item. Okay, so you initially learn the surface thoughts of its creature, what is most on its mind in that moment. So, using your medallion of thoughts, you are aware that this creature is very much in fear of his life. He is doing his best to appear non-threatening, and he's trying to think of essentially he's in pure survival mode, trying to figure out how to get out of encountering you three.
Copy that. I think it lasts. I want to say the detect thought spell lasts for 1 minute.
One cast in
Sound of it?
concentration up to 1 minute.
Yeah, it sounded like concentration spell.
All right, yeah. So I'm going to ask him to give greater details into like what attacked him and how it came to be and whatnot.
And where exactly this occurred.
Yeah.
Ah, I see. I'm just looking at this third paragraph of detect thoughts. That's fucking cool. I like that. It's a neat.
Yeah, it's like a mental fucking fight. It's ridiculous.
It's a pretty useful, especially in this circumstance. So he tells you that I can't remember the accent I used, so I'm just not going to use his voice for the moment. But he tells you that he was attacked by a bulette, a land shark.
A land shark.
It came upon him as he was packing his camp, and after he had packed up his mount, it came out of the ground and ate the mount whole. He was barely able to escape with his life, having fought the creature, but it had not really expressed much interest in him after devouring his mount, and he was able to get away. He's been wandering lost ever since, as he has no belongings except for what was on him at the time.
It was just the one.
That's what he
So-
says.
While he was explaining this, did his surface thoughts like betray what he was saying at all?
You can tell that his thoughts were entirely focused on the recounting of his story. And I don't know how detecting or reading the thoughts of somebody would present itself, but basically, like, he's telling you the story, and you're following his thoughts as he's recounting the story at the same time, because that's like the most on his mind.
Right.
That makes sense.
Yep. Okay. I turned to Isaac and I asked him quietly enough that the other guy couldn't hear. You mentioned a land shark. Are those things common in this area? Do you know?
I will roll history, I guess.
Alright.
That is a 16 for history.
Yes, you are aware of these creatures. You know that they are pretty big monsters, and they aren't common. But they're mostly found in amongst the plains of the Dordian Khaganate, due to the fact that there's less people around to kill them off. However, because of that, they are incredibly formidable underground hunters. They dig through the ground, and once they've detected prey, they surface and devour whatever it is they find. One, you are aware of stories. Actually, with a 16, you've probably seen it happen. But you're aware that these creatures are capable of taking down entire family groups or traveling caravans, even seen them or heard of them take down hunting packs of Dordian Cognate horsemen.
All right. I ask him.
Do these creatures tend to be more or group up, or are they
pack
solitary?
hunters?
They are nomadic, solitary hunters.
Hopefully that's the only one, and hopefully it's full. I ask him to detail where exactly the attack took place, or in what direction, or however he can describe it, like X amount of time walking from that way or whatever.
17. He tells you that he knows where his camp is, and he can even lead you there. It's not too far away. He's only been walking since dawn, and it is roughly midday at this point. He'd be happy to show you the way, but he once again requests, if possible, he could have some water.
I will lend him my water skin.
He drinks sparingly from the water skin, and doesn't take much, and returns it to you and asks you take a silver piece in return for your hospitality.
I decline the money.
What a nice young man.
I confer with my compatriots quietly. So I was able to try this medallion of thoughts that the Triad gave me on him. From what I was able to skim from his mind as we came upon him and talked to him, he was very much in fear for his life. And from what I can tell, he is truthfully retelling his story. I don't think he is a threat. I think that he might be telling the truth.
If yes, then we should probably take care of this creature before the army catches up.
How would we hunt down an underground creature that swims as if it's water?
Bait.
Our best bet is to avoid it entirely. Have this man
Indeed, if it's
clear way, and we just travel past.
If it's already eaten, then I mean, how often does it need to eat? It's already eaten an entire horse. How much can they possibly stand to eat?
Would I know how often these things eat?
They live only to feed.
He did roll a 16.
They live to eat. These creatures are incredibly dangerous because they will attack with no regard for superior numbers or strength. They exist to eat. They are ravenous.
So if the army steps into its territory, it will attack them.
Yeah, with your 16, yeah, you're aware that they essentially come up in the middle of whatever it is. They're similar to, like, I don't know. I can't think of any other relevant thing, but yeah, they come up from the underground and they just.
How long was the range on the earring you had?
Earring of messaging?
Like 30 feet.
Yeah.
120 feet or something like that.
Oh, okay.
We should notify the army.
We should notify the others, and we need to deal with this.
Did he point which way that the attack happened?
He did not point. You asked him if he could show you the way, and he just with his arms.
Well, I asked him I asked him where it happened, not if he could show me the way.
Rearranges his nuts
at his camp. I know that's not 100% what you're looking for, but
I asked him to point which way that the attack happened from.
He points northeast.
So we passed by it on our way here.
He may very well might have. Even so, it might be a good idea to have the army bear more to the west than east.
Like I said, we should notify the army and just leave it.
what should we do with this man? He seems to have ill fortune.
Is there a nearby town or a
No.
relatively safe space nearby that I would know of?
The nearest safe space is actually the town at the edge of the West Marches, the one that you walked through that had shown
This one?
signs of battle damage. Yeah, that one.
Asco tanto.
No, that.
Well, I would tell him about that if he was looking to get to safety. And
Give him
that's
direction.
about as far as I will offer him aid.
Yeah.
Okay. He appreciates your assistance and begins trudging on his way. He looks back sort of several times as he goes to see what it is that you're doing.
Did he change course to the town?
Yeah, he walked in the
Okay.
direct. Remember, he doesn't have a map. He doesn't have water. He doesn't have.
So he was just wandering, like, completely
Everything was
lost.
he told you everything was on his horse. Like, he was packing up camp. He was putting all of his stuff on his horse, and it came out from underneath him, ate the horse, all of his shit. He fought it off a little bit, and then managed to get away. And
Damn.
he's just been wandering this wasteland ever since.
Yeah.
Oh, lucky him, I guess.
Yeah,
Nephis
So
relieves his hands
he's gonna
from his
move-
sword.
in the direction of wherever. If Isaac actually pointed or showed or indicated the direction of town,
I would have indicated the direction, or maybe even shown him on my map.
he essentially just kind of starts trudging off sadly towards the town.
We should head back to the army.
Yeah, notify him.
Indeed, that
Yeah.
land sharks might be afoot or underfoot. All haste, I would suggest.
We should be keeping an eye out, because they can attack from pretty much out of nowhere and just eat our mounts.
No.
That would be a
Never
sad.
Right,
I'm
back
a
to
little
the
bit
army.
surprised we didn't run
Nephis rides
into
back
it
to the army.
Yeah.
I don't know how many times we have to repeat the things we said in a different way, but I'm going back to the army. This is guaranteed.
going back
that
to
there's
the army.
movement.
Yep.
Yep.
Okay. Well, they're still talking on the bluff of a hill, and you've headed back. That is understood.
Yep.
You make it
just
back
missed
to
it.
the army in due course. I assume at some point in time in Nephis's travel, Carlos and Isaac also turn around and head back as well. Or are you guys following him right away as he turns?
Yeah, I mean, I'm with Nephis.
Oh, you're on
Yeah,
the- oh, you're
I'm
the
riding
sled.
on a lizard mount. Carlos is on the sled.
Yeah. Cool.
I would glance at the
Thought you guys were just fucking around with that.
tiefling on our way
Yeah.
back, but yes,
He's
we're
glancing at
heading
you.
back.
You lock eyes for as long as you dare to lock eyes with him as he looks
How
forlornly
romantic.
at you guys, leaving him trapped again in the wasteland.
Until we meet again, Mr. Tiefling.
Mr. Tiefling. Cool. Well, that was the encounter of Tiefling.
Tiefling encounter, if you will.
Yep.
Tiefling encounter.
Toph.
Fuck, I wasn't sure if I could trust him.
That's the whole point.
That was the whole.
I
No
don't
kidding.
trust him.
Besides, we are kind of scouting for an army right now. I don't have time to take him to safety.
True. So,
Even if I did.
mean, an army is safety.
Why would you? See how he looked?
Yep.
He looked like a demon.
Because Isaac is a good boy.
Well, the army is still progressing on its way. You pass through this screen of cavalry, wizard cavalry, that are
that's
forging ahead. And they nod at you as you return, and you encounter the front marching columns of the force. and then after them is the sort of the headquarters group where Lady Amethray, Lady Andril the Fifth, the other Drow commanders who I haven't given names yet, and then Vinshenzo and a group are riding.
Khutula.
Khutula is definitely there.
Oh, I would report the findings as well as in detail as much as I can, and everything I know about the creature.
Yes, report
Okay.
it to Miss Amethray.
She's there.
Amethray.
She hears your report and she scratches her chin and she says, "We've never encountered such a beast. What is your recommendation?"
Cool.
Well, without knowing for sure where its territory it's laying claim to, will be hard to avoid. And unfortunately, I don't have any way of tracking them underground.
She nods her head and looks at Khutula, and she says, "It would be most prudent to ensure that the army does not fall upon casualties before we reach the battlefield. I think we should at least try and find this campsite so we can properly avoid it." I can send my riders to investigate the general vicinity of the campsite.
Tula nods and says, "Yes, please send out your scouts."
That will mean they will need to their place will need to be taken on the flank, though.
Nephis looks visibly like upset and scratches his face. He looks at Isaac and looks at Amethray.
This is insane. We're chasing after a groundhog in this big out open place that could eat one guy's horse out of thousands.
I mean, he did state it could eat a fucking carriage filled with people.
No, a caravan, as in like an entire caravan's worth of people. Several horses, carts, and guards and travelers. They just devour that shit.
Good. Let it. It's an army.
Well, your wife literally just said that she didn't want to take casualties before we get there.
I don't like my wife.
Vin's like, I want a divorce.
Good idea. I'll pave a way to the.
I'll go.
I'll meet you guys there. And Nephis begins moving forward.
I'll go to a camp as I'm somewhat familiar with the creature.
Again, she's offering to send her riders to the camp just to see where it is, so that they know where it is, and then have someone replace the rider's position, essentially.
Nephis abandons the army.
Unless you guys want to go.
No.
What?
Then our party will continue heading forward then. Right? Wouldn't that make the most sense?
Yes.
Your wife strokes your cheek and says, "Ah, my little general." Not in that way.
I don't like this.
Chris strokes your cheek.
Either we take care of it, or she sends people to do it, but we'll have to take their place.
Okay, okay.
This really
Nephis
matter.
abandons the army
He abandons the
and
army.
makes way to the
Okay.
Dordian stronghold.
Just
The
rides
Guardian
off, gets his
stronghold.
horse eaten.
Yeah, sure. We'll see
Well,
how that goes.
You do actually travel faster than the army, so that's cool. Because you're not at the head of an army. Is Carlos still on the back of your sled, or did you like kick him off and then take off running?
Nephis is so frustrated that he doesn't care.
You
He
just
does not
kidnapped
look
me.
back.
Back of the sled, or are you just sitting there watching the army fade away into the distance?
What?
Are you going with Nephis or are you staying with the army?
Are you jumping off the sled as he turns around and rides away, or are you sticking with Nephis?
I have no choice because I'm literally bound by marriage.
You're literally.
I'm gonna-
marriage.
I'm gonna stay on the sled and I'm gonna move up and try to convince Nephis to turn her back around.
Okay, well, the army's continuing to march in the direction they're supposed to be. They haven't stopped at any point in time in this conversation, so they're still going on their way. The army has not stopped.
Well, in that case, I will go with the along with the riders who are going to investigate the camp.
Okay.
Khutula's just trying to do what sounds like it's best because she trusts the fucking general's goddamn intuition more than anything.
I ask my wife for orders. Commander, I'm standing by.
What, Carlos? We're just gonna scout ahead.
Emma 3 Vinshenzo mentions that it's getting quite hot out. The sun. She didn't realize how warm it would be, and perhaps you could go back to the baggage train and fetch her something cold and refreshing, maybe some tea or
Yes, honey.
I do that.
quite warm.
Was I not commanding my knights a minute ago?
Yep. But
You do whatever
you're
she
also-
wants.
You're also hubby.
Okay, I
Yes,
do
dear.
that.
Cool. Anyways, okay, so Isaac's gonna go investigate the boulette. And all of that's going on. You get to the
Nephis
camp.
does not slow down.
Okay.
Let's go for a ride, Carlos.
Nephis, if you are traveling by yourself and you do not stop and you intend to make the entire journey, I'm not trying to I'm just trying to describe that part. So if you're doing the whole journey to the stronghold solo, you will make it a week in advance.
Oh.
He would wait at the first town that they come across. I believe that's the tattered, fucked up one that we encountered.
No.
The tattered, fucked up one is a little bit out of the way.
Yeah, it's
But
like
over
over here.
And then
There are
We're
Dordian, permanent Dordian settlements.
Dorsians.
oh yeah, sorry, I forgot about that. Yeah, no, then he would go to the. You just go straight there. Yeah.
Straight there. Deadly.
I don't want to deal with no fucking land sharks. It's fucking
Well,
stupid.
shit, motherfucker. This is gonna
Nephis-
be fun.
I deal
Nephis,
with
don't you
sharks in the ocean.
Nephis,
have
don't you
no
think it might
place
be a
on
good
land.
idea to at least turn back if we find danger? We should let the
If we find-
army know.
If we find danger, we will.
Very well.
Out fucking standing.
I do not wish to mingle with the with the thoughts of Vin's wife.
I'm not saying you're wrong. I wouldn't want to go back to the site of a land shark attack either. But they do not know the way of the world up here.
Ah, yes, and I expected Isaac to not egg her on the matter.
Oh. Isaac is a man of few words.
This makes no sense.
If any. What? She doesn't know what she's doing. I don't want to be around her.
Perhaps it
I
would be a good
agree.
idea to advise
Out of
her.
character, I agree.
What if we used Khutula as a mouthpiece in this situation? You tell Khutula what would be best for Amethre to do, and then Khutula can tell her, then everyone stays out of danger.
That's something for you to do, Carlos. I've found my way. I'm removing myself from the situation.
Ugh.
Sorry, Isaac.
Hmm?
I touched my
Chris
penile.
was gonna describe the stuff, and
we were talking.
Yeah.
You can say it, Chris.
It's
Yeah, it was like 60% of the way through typing that. Okay. Yeah. So you reach destination. You find the scattered ashes of a campfire, and the residue of where the bullet had come out of, or not the residue. Yeah, the residue of the fucking horse, and some tattered bits of its of whatever equipment had been attached to it, are lying on the ground within the crater of the caved-in tunnel that the bullet had driven itself out of to attack the camp.
All right. I would like to inspect. Really, I would like to check pretty much everything, whether that's perception or survival, to try and figure out in some way where it came from, what size it is.
Okay. I'll get you to roll an investigation because you're investigating.
I'm going to guidance this. That is a 21.
21. You, much like Aragorn, walk through the camp, tracing the footsteps, the hoof prints, and the beast claw marks, and you are able to experience in hindsight the entire event of this attack. You are aware that this thing is several 100 pounds, a hulking beast that is like roughly the size of a rhinoceros. Even if you don't know what a rhinoceros is, it is that size and shape. The ground where it is walked is gouged into the mud with deep claw prints, and you find chunks of flesh that are the size of your head, that have been ripped and torn and thrown apart. Chunks of the horse. You do find on the ground what appears to be a bedroll, a fully intact bedroll, and it's quite a nice little bedroll, I guess. It's got a down interior, and stitching is quite sturdy.
Let's go.
Good stuff. That's about it. That's all you find.
Woohoo!
Take the bedroll.
It has lice.
Right.
Rice.
Demonic lice.
What direction was that collapsed tunnel it come out of from?
It looks, for all intents and purposes, it looks like a fucking shell crater. The thing came right out of the ground, like directly from beneath, and took that horse right out. The fact that it and the horse are closer in size than human means that the horse itself had essentially been like thrown up into the air, and then after it had landed on the ground, this massive creature had pounced on the horse and ripped it to pieces.
Yeah, like in
literally
Tremors.
ripping it to shreds. And then you see that a brief fight between the tiefling and the bulette did cause some dark, thick blood spill that clearly is not from a tiefling or a horse. So it must have been injured, not severely, but enough for the tiefling to get away.
All right.
It seems as though the bulette had been focused on its kill, which also gave opportunity for the tiefling to escape. Upon finishing its feast, it returned underground resulting in the collapse of the hole.
All right. Well, if there doesn't seem to be any more traces of it here, then I would return with the cavalry to the army and just have them divert away from the camp.
Oh, they aren't following you. They're here doing their own investigation, and you end up having to wait for them to finish up, as the captain doesn't seem to be very interested in listening to anything you have to say.
Wow, what a bitch.
Well, she is very focused on her job.
The job that Isaac already did for her.
Anyways, it takes an extra like 15-20 minutes for them to conclude effectively the same thing, and then they head back and return to their station and all that stuff. All right, now we're gonna fast forward ahead. I know. I'm sorry. Sir, if you want to say or do something, you can.
Oh no, I would just return to scouting ahead after.
Okay.
After that,
we are going to do the next week of travel, which for the army.
Where did the D100 go?
They eat it.
We're not gonna get the army to roll. We're gonna get Nephis and Carlos to. One of you two can see what zany encounters you have as you travel by yourselves through this grassland.
Okay, let's roll these die.
How nice of you, Nephis. Oh.
90. That's a good one, right?
I don't know.
Okay.
Let's see what
Oh, do we have both rolled or just okay?
Yeah, you.
I offered for you to choose amongst yourselves who would take the roll,
and then you add them up.
Yeah, that's how it works.
Oh, is it?
It can't be. Okay. It can't be more than 100.
Oh,
I hope I get 100.
It's more than 100.
I was being a meme. I'm not actually going to pay attention to that roll. But you're giving me an opportunity to better prepare by delaying.
Ah.
Here, we have to bury these.
How nice of you, Mr. Nephis.
Why are you burying them?
Shit, I wasn't quick enough.
Okay, so it's been 4 days worth of the two of you traveling together with no one else's company or no other real contact with other civilized beings aside from each other.
I would have informed my wife that half of my knights have left me.
She gives you like a faintly disapproving look, which is quickly like masked.
Wait, is Nephis Nephis actually take the knighthood?
No.
I'm surprised she wouldn't unleash her fury on me.
She will.
I can't wait for that.
Vinshenzo wants the abuse. Yes, punish me.
Been a bad boy.
Gives him paper cut. He almost bleeds out.
Break up the stirs, mommy. Take me for a ride. Anyways, we're gonna move at it. So as you guys are riding through, it's about mid-afternoon on day 4 of you leaving the army, and you notice that a bank of fairly thick, dark clouds is beginning to come up from the southeast. Sorry.
Looks like that might be a storm.
Die.
It's the Drow army.
I will say that given the fact that you're still essentially in the middle of the steppes, there's very little terrain in the immediate vicinity.
It seems a little odd for a desert to get that kind of cloud coverage, doesn't it?
It's a steppe. It's a grassland.
Whatever.
I don't know. Maybe there's
Mongolia.
Is the wind heading towards us? Is the storm like approaching, or is it like
it's blowing in towards you from the southeast? Nephis may or may not be acutely aware that southeast is the direction of the sea.
Should we should we avoid that, or
No, there's only so much we can do to avoid the weather. If it gets too bad, we can hunker down, set up the tent on the sled.
fair enough?
I proceed.
Nephis proceeds.
What do you want me to do? Blow a hole in the fucking cloud?
Yes. Go get Khutula's gun and shoot it into the fucking sky.
He's gonna
What
shoot
if I
you
shoot
into
the
the sun
sun gun?
pretty quick, Carlos.
Hell yeah. No, Nephis and I had an adventure. We're cool now.
Nephis is not gritting his teeth, but he's
Carlos riding in the back of the
Disappointed.
Winnebago.
Speaking of sun thingies, who has the 4 like special arrows that we got?
Got special
not
arrows.
me.
Yeah, the ones that basically turned into a miniature sun when you fired them.
I'm assuming the dude with the longbow.
I assume everything.
Hell yeah.
Okay, so
Ben has gotten reprimanded.
yes, he's been told off. So you guys continue to ride despite the increasing cloud cover rolling from the southeast. That's totally cool. I will tell you now that in the period of 2 hours, you will begin to start feeling raindrops, and the clouds are increasing in size and severity.
Oh.
Oh.
Can I use my survival to determine what type of weather system this possibly could be? If it's maybe a monsoon or a hurricane, or if it is that severe?
Yes, sir. Please roll survival.
Okay, let me see if I have fucking inspiration. I might blow my fucking inspiration on this.
Boom.
Oh baby.
Oh baby.
20.
It is the rainy
3.
season. There are 45mm shells landing outside.
A 20.
Sounds like there is artillery coming out in the streets. The fireworks. It's like artillery. Cool. Okay, so 20.
3.
23. Oh.
I don't think that really matters all that much. It's
Nephis,
20.
being the weathered seaman that he is,
Yes, sir. Come here.
he's a veteran seaman, and he is aware of these types of storms that come in from the coast can be quite severe. And looking around, realizing how little tree cover there is to block the wind, the rain, and any other more severe elements of such a rainstorm, this looks to be not a hurricane, but like it's a coastal storm. It's definitely something to be concerned of. Not only strong winds, which normally in a wooded area, like you're probably more used to on the coast, not a wide open grassland. This is the kind of time when you'd be concerned about falling trees, wanting to take shelter in not a thatch hut. You're aware that people have died, from exposure, given the fact that not only being soaking wet, but hypothermic is just really not a good way to go. These storms can last for hours, and they're definitely something not destructive, but definitely dangerous.
Yay. Well then immediately I consult my map. Is there any possible like tree, because I see, depending on where we are, there's like some spots, blotches of tree lines. How close are we to them?
Are we? I'm looking at my copy, my master copy, the master stroke. You are okay, so it's gonna be hard to see, but there's a tree right there. Do you see that tree?
Yeah.
It also has a little bit of an orange road.
Yes.
You are within capable travel distance of that area.
Immediately seeing that there is some cover close by, I storm a map and change course immediately.
Understood. Are you gonna push your horse to travel faster than it is, or are you just gonna try and get there and hope for the best?
I'm gonna push my horse.
Fuck yeah, alright. Okay, bear with me 1 second.
One.
Oh. He got you there.
Okay, Vinshenzo, just really quickly, because I was going to type it, but I have a second to just say this. Given your response, Vinshenzo, your wife tuts and shakes her head sort of disappointedly and says, these humans, they are fickle creatures indeed, unreliable, it seems, based on what you've just said. Perhaps we would do better if we dismiss this host of humans and rely entirely on the more... I can't think of a word. The more controllable forces of the Drow. If they cannot be trusted to follow an army, let alone fight in a battle, how can we win any kind of campaign? We should be using this to our advantage against our enemies and use our superior organization and control against them and let them run with chaos at our feet.
I'll respond in text.
Yeah, thank you. All right, Nephis. I guess you're kind of operating a vehicle. I don't know. I'm not going to get you to roll anything quite. Yes, I am going to get you to roll. As it does start raining and shit, I'm going to get you to roll a survival to try and get your ass through the storm.
Copy that.
Because it is no longer a clear day, and as you travel, you do encounter the first squall line of this coastal storm.
24.
24. Undeterred, you press on. You are no stranger to harsh elements being stuck on the open ocean with mountainous cresting waves and hurricane gale force winds and all that sort of thing. This is child's play. Carlos, how are you doing with this entire thing?
I'm just holding on.
For dear life?
Yeah, pretty much.
That fucking sucks! Okay, so...
It's just like, oh, I guess I was right. I guess it was something to be worried about.
Oh. There we go. Okay. I was kind of expecting a little longer. Okay, just give me 1 quick second. I'm trying to find a shitty name for this town that you're about to find yourself in.
Oh.
A shitty name for a shitty town. Hell yeah.
I got one. Okay, so you arrive in the town of Kardoc. Spelt wrong one.
Kardoc.
Curd a cheese.
Kardoc.
As you so in the midst of this ridiculous storm, you emerge. The town, if you would call it a town, collection of teepees, essentially, little more than thatch huts and hidebound teepees are scattered throughout a small wooded valley that has a watershed that develops into a small creek. Well, a small creek. It goes from a small creek into a small river. And as you come down the hill into this village, you notice that everybody is like, the whole village is just empty. Even passing into the perimeter of these primitive houses, you can see that there's no one home. The flaps to these tents are wide open. You can see inside. Some of them still have their cook fires smoldering away. The smoke itself just sort of hangs close to the ground like a shallow fog. When you enter, I don't know how far into the town you'd like to go. You can stop me at any point in time when you'd like to take an action.
Copy.
But you, as you travel farther down the slope, you notice that the more inner buildings and the more instead of domestic structures, they're now more permanent storehouses, food processing facilities that are actually made of timber. Of course, not akin to a modern house, but more like a trapper shack or other such primitive wood dwelling where the trees are not even processed. They're just the whole trunk of it's just placed down and turned into a kind of a shack for drying hides and storing preserved meats, etc. Again, still you see signs that people are living here, but you do not see any signs of the people themselves. Even the horses are gone.
Strange. The whole village seems to be abandoned. Do you think they have a special place they hunker down for these kind of storms?
Assume so. But I've never seen anything like this. I assumed they would take shelter in these more permanent buildings.
Oh. If worse came to worse, I suppose we could try, but do you think you can pick up their trail?
I do look for any trails of footprints to see where everyone has gone to.
You will be rolling at disadvantage because you are actively in a coastal storm.
Copy that. Oh. 11.
11. Okay. I just, for the sake of you guys, I had to stand up, so I'm walking actually around in my kitchen right now, just trying to relieve a little bit of the back pain. So I'm not going to be looking at the screen. So if I'll tell you when I come sit back down, but just for now,
You
so you
mean
understand.
natural 20?
No, he said 11. It's okay. It's fine. I'm just letting you know because it's fair of me to say that. Anyways, so you looking around trying to figure out where these people have gone. You can definitely find more set-in tracks, more permanent trackways and pathways that these village people used when they were going about their day. And you notice that one of the largest, most easily identifiable trackways leads south down the bank, the eastern bank of this creek that is forming inside the valley of the small town. It's a footpath. It's essentially just a big, thick deer trail. There's nothing refined about it. But both horse prints and footprints of humans have worn away the grass steadily enough that it has become a more permanent pathway. You are unable to find lighter signs of activity. The rain actively in your face is also actively wiping away most of the lighter tracks.
Yeah, it's no certainty, but they possibly headed this way. And he points towards the creek, where all the footpath.
Queek. As you're searching through the village, or as you finish searching through the village, the storm is growing still in intensity, to the point where you have to shout to be heard over the wind. Tree limbs begin to snap occasionally. You can almost hear it above the crack of thunder and lightning.
Well, do you think you can find them in this?
No, the weather's just gonna continue to get worse. The tracks are being washed away as we speak.
Well, it's either we follow this path or we take shelter in the strongest building we can find.
I believe that'd be the best idea.
The strongest building you can find.
Aye.
These permanent timber structures are effectively lean-tos and open-sided workshops. So we're not talking about like the Hilton or even a Best Western here. We're talking like
I'm talking
Buddy's
about
firewood
sturdy.
shed.
I don't know what the fuck a Hilton is.
I'm just describing to you visually what these structures are. Look, they're no knotted kobold, all right?
Oh.
Oh.
So
Damn right, they're not.
So is it like one wall that's like held up with like a stick or something? Like, what are we working with here?
Imagine, if you will, a shitty Native American lean-to made of trees. Literally, like, you take a hatchet, you take some small trees, you cut them down, and then you string them together into a thing where you can tan your hides or hang your fish to dry. That is what these are. They are not hide/thatch roof tents. They are more permanent in the sense that they do have their wood pounded into the ground and lashed together. They're not meant to be taken down and moved.
Logs.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, big logs, but not. I'm not talking about like a nice log cabin.
Big logs. I'm gonna look for a valley.
You're in the valley.
Oh.
The town, if you imagine a valley with a river beginning sort of at the bottom of it and progressing south, the houses are built, or the town is established within the depression of the valley itself, using the terrain as cover.
Then yeah, I'm gonna look for an offshoot, like a creek or like a ditch that we can hide in, but not specifically for those assholes who live here.
You're not looking for the assholes. You're looking for your own shelter.
Yes.
Understood. Well, a little bit farther down the valley, you're progressing along the track a little bit, but you notice that there are a few offshoots of the creek, where branches of this watershed are forming into the waterways themselves. And you notice. Actually, roll me another survival check as you're moving into this new area, just to see if you notice what I want you to notice.
Disadvantage?
Yep, still disadvantage. It's a fucking shitty storm out.
$13.
You do, in fact, notice the thing that I wanted you to notice, which happens to be a large collection of rocks, boulders, if you will, that have been unburied, I guess, from the landscape over hundreds of years, if not thousands of years of erosion from the water, wiping away the soil, and it has created a small enough space that you can create a makeshift shelter, or at least be protected from the elements for a little while. One of the larger boulders acts as a natural overhang, and then the other rocks around it create a little bit of a wall. You have a small cave that's maybe 10 foot generously wide.
All right. Nephis knows exactly what he wants to do. Not wasting any time, he tells Carlos, get into the cave. We're gonna bring the horse in to block the entrance along with the sled. I'll tip it on its side and we can Hope it stays in place.
All right. You know more than me in this. I do what he wants.
I get my horse to lay at the mouth of this opening, and I flip the sled lengthwise, so it kind of locks us in.
Okay.
Do we have any way of like lashing the shed and the sled in place or something? Perhaps I could keep it from being blown away.
Nephis has rope, 100 feet of it too.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Not that weak shit either. He has that expensive gourmet shit.
Oh. Tasty.
Oh.
But it's not the rope that's bothering me. It's that fucking lizard in the back of the cave.
Gecko
damn
licking
it.
its eyeball.
Yeah, I tie it in the place.
I
With,
help.
my silk rope.
Ooh.
Oh.
Ooh.
Whoa.
All right, so you're gonna ride out the storm here,
Aye.
which is totally cool. As you both hunker down for however long you anticipate the storm to be, I would like to both of you to roll perception.
Copy that. Ooh. 23.
24.
Fuck
Jesus Christ. Okay. Oh man. As you, I don't know what you guys are doing. Maybe you're just both sitting at opposite ends of this like little rocky crevice, staring each other in the eyes, or sleeping, or whatever it is you're doing. You are interrupted by the sharp, acrid smell of rotting meat and the stink of wet beast pelt.
Ugh, what is that?
You perk up your ears at the smell of this. Your senses are heightened, and you hear the soft, almost inaudible, but not to your skilled ears, of course, padding of feet. There's multiple, you believe, between the two of you, there to be at least 7 or 8. Something or some things are lurking in the rain outside.
From our exceptional rolls, and with Nephis's background as a tracker, would I be able to tell if it is a quadruped?
You know that they are bipedal.
Uh-oh.
Oh.
You also hear clicking and tapping. It sounds as though somebody is clapping sticks together sharply and clicking with their tongues. Occasionally back and forth, as if people are sending messages. People in whatever these individuals are sending or communicating messages back and forth to each other using these sounds, which are sharp enough to be heard
immediately
over the rain. Sorry.
He pulls out his pouch of concoctions and casts Pass Without Trace on him and Carlos.
Okay.
That being adds a +10 to our stealth rolls, and yeah, I would like to hide in our hole.
Oh shit! Hang on. Oh fucking hell! I have to check something. I'm assuming you're doing the same thing I'm doing.
I'm looking at Pass Without Trace to get more of the specifics. Yeah.
Okay. Ow. Where are they? There they are.
Where is it?
They have that. All right. Oh. All right. As you sit and listen / watch / whatever else, whatever senses you're using, what seems like forever, the silence of, well, not silence, but the only thing you can hear is the relentless pounding of the rain and the crackle of thunder, until after what feels like forever, you hear a familiar laugh, a haunting laugh that kind of rumbles almost like the thunder itself out from what sounds like immediately above you. And then more tapping of sticks, and the foot sounds begin to they begin to make noise again as the creatures walk.
I
You
look
hear-
at Carlos. Oh,
You hear
go ahead.
them starting to get quieter, where the sound is fading off.
Oh,
That's all I got. Okay, that was good. I can sit down now. I'm sitting down.
Do you think we've evaded them?
Nephis kind of racks his brain, dwelling on the laughter. That voice sounds familiar. Did it not? And he tries to think upon it. Is there a roll I should do to perhaps recall?
Now, I was hoping that insinuation would insinuate it enough, but it's the hyena laughter of a gnoll.
Oh. It's
A very familiar,
It's
haunting
Gnoblin.
cackle. Yeah, it's a gnoll's.
What in the world are they doing here? Are they searching for? Seems insane to me for them to be out in this weather hunting.
It'd be perfect timing. People fleeing from their homes to find better
Shelter.
shelter.
I suppose, but it also seems more dangerous to them.
I don't know much about gnolls other than they're bloodthirsty. Nephis continues to wait out the storm.
The storm lasts for, or at least the rain continues for the rest of the night, but the storm loses its intensity, not quite quickly, but over the course of about an hour or two. It loses its intensity and kind of peters out. It's still raining, but the winds have died down. The thunder has become more distant. It is dark out, but more because it's night and less because of the storm.
I pull out my my bedroll and place it on the ground and set up my sleeping arrangements.
Yeah. Time to sleep. What is going on? Oh, that's why.
I pull out my extra blanket for myself.
All right. We're just gonna jump quickly to the army and the others,
Gormy.
which is Vinshenzo, Khutula, and Isaac. You've been marching for a week without so much of a peep from your erstwhile comrades, Nephis and Carlos. How do
Kidnapped
you?
them to fix them.
Who knows? Who knows where they are or what they're up to?
I would not trust
After-
Carlos out here on his own, but Mr. Nephis is a capable guide.
After this week's worth of disappearance, when the army is making camp and setting up their shelters for the night, Amethray calls the remaining party members into her tent, her commander's tent, where two other female drow, who you are aware of as captains of the other drow hosts. I'm gonna be getting you names.
I bow.
So the one lovely lady is named Hesise. And she is from the Honorable House Nemidre, who you know as the guys who guard the lower gate of the city. Normally they're focused in the Underdark. They're the least learned in the light, I guess you could say. Oh, there we go. Jesus Christ. I don't know if you guys heard that, but pretty much my entire spine just fucking shattered. Holy shit, that felt good. Anyways, she brings with her an equerry who is not introduced, nor does this equerry, who is a male, speak, unless spoken to, of course. The other captain is named Vondran, and she is from... Oh, sorry.
Oh.
I know I'm making a lot. I'm making a lot of noises, but I'm fucking having a great time here. My back is loosening up. It's great. But she's from House Kudris.
Oh.
So, two captains, one equerry, Amethray herself. Summon Isaac, Khutula, and Vinshenzo to
I
her tent.
bow. Upon entering.
I mimic Vin's motions.
Oh.
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 No?
No, I don't care what you do. You do whatever you want. You're free Dragonborn.
That's a lie.
Freedom is an illusion.
It's not like a full bow. It's more just like a polite
Curtsy.
greeting. Yeah, pretty much.
Kurtz.
Grazie.
Okay, we
Antonio
enter.
Margaretti.
Yes, you do. So Amethray cuts right to the point, and she says, "I'm concerned about the desertion of your comrades. They have a lot of valuable intelligence, and they've just disappeared into the wild. What is happening with them? Are they coming back?"
Mr. Nephis is a capable guide.
A capable guide who has been gone for a week.
Yes.
If any one of my soldiers were to desert in this way, they would be hunted down and killed, my dear.
Yes.
So I leave it to you to solve this problem of security. But if they are captured, there are just two of them. Our entire army is vulnerable on this long march.
Vin shrugs. How would you have me find them?
She
He's the one who does the-
scoffs and rolls her eyes, and then turns to Khutula, and she says, "Captain, what do you propose? This security situation must be dealt with. As captain of the guard, I'm sure you're capable of contacting and reining in your associates."
I believe we can send a message, and if they do not respond, we will set out ourselves or dispatch troops to scout ahead, try and find their trail, and follow along to where they went. They said they were scouting ahead, so it's a good enough start.
There's nothing to worry about. And isn't Amethray the captain of the guard?
No.
No.
She's-
Khutula is the captain of your guard.
Yeah, Khutula has been recognized as the as the alpha female of your group,
She's
responding.
the gap.
Okay, I think you're all wrong, but I won't argue.
Amithray and her sister Andril V are the captains in charge of the House Cairona cohort of
Okay.
the 6,500 strong Drow force. Captain Hesise Namidre is in charge of the cohort of the House Namidre, and Captain Kudris is in charge of the cohort of the House Kudris.
Yes.
Cougars.
Khutula
Yeah.
is in charge of your personal guard, as per Amithray's statement just now,
Right.
because they recognize females before they recognize males.
Correct.
So you have provided them with a less than impressive response. So they're looking at the only other individual that they consider capable and saying, all right, you handle it. So they're all looking at Khutula saying, you handle it.
That is demonstrably false, and I'm gonna prove you wrong right now. These are people, well, at least Carlos is under Amithray's barony. They are under Amithray's barony. If Khutula was captain of the guard, why wasn't she commanding them to begin with then? Am I wrong?
I'm just trying to play the part, man.
So you're traveling companions, which have been mostly responding and coordinating through you, between you and your wife.
Like, if she wants to be like, oh, okay, retard husband, I'm gonna talk to the woman now because she's smarter than you. That's fine. I'm
Okay,
fine
think
with
of it this way. This way.
Husband.
General wife, right? General Amithray talks to her
Yes.
husband, who's got this posse of underlings,
that are under her barony.
but they're your underlings, even though they're under her charge, right? Just follow me through this logic train, and you can tell
Okay,
me
if you
after I.
if
if
you
you-
completely ignore my point, then yeah, you're right, Chris.
Just let me go through the steps,
Okay.
and you can tell me if I've completely ignored your point. Can you
Okay,
allow me to
okay.
finish my train of
Go
thought?
ahead.
No.
Okay, so your little band of like underling knight dudes, right? They're following you around. There's got to be a senior peep in the posse, which is Khutula, who is not noble, but she is female. So because of the female aspect of that, and the fact that you were in part of a matriarchal society, you, as the person that is supposed to be responsible for these losers, because you're the noble, have failed to impress her with your solution to a problem she has. So she's looking at the person who she considers to be the next in line, essentially.
Right.
She is being identified as the person they consider responsible for your dudes. It's not responsible only, it's like you, and then underneath you is Khutula to them, and then the rest of them.
I'm the noble.
So when you are the rich guy, they are the Secret Service. Khutula is in charge of the Secret Service in their eyes. That is how they see it, because just like, I don't know, any normal patriarchal society, if you got a gaggle of women standing around and they're, I don't know, the handmaidens of a woman, but there's a fucking dude standing there, you're gonna tell the dude, sort those bitches out. Sorry, it's just that's what they're doing. So you have failed to provide an answer, as Vinshenzo told his wife. It's fine. They're gonna be fine. It's all okay. They can handle themselves. And she doesn't trust that. She doesn't like that. So she's turning to the other figure of authority that she recognizes as your group, and saying, "You take care of it."
I'm
'Cause
fine
he's
with
not
that,
taking-
but they
Okay.
are her people to begin with.
Yes.
Okay.
So she's
She
looking
is
at Khutula.
delegating the task.
Yeah.
She told you to take care of it because she recognizes that they're your people.
I said it's not a problem.
She
He
didn't like that.
disagrees.
Because you're just a man. What do you know?
I'm completely okay with that, but it's in like the
Okay, but
structure of
you
command.
weren't
It
2
makes
minutes
no
ago
sense.
when I started. So
No, you're calling Khutula like the captain of the guard all of a sudden. I don't understand.
Because the previous session she was referred to as that by the matriarch and nobody corrected her.
Oh, I don't remember.
Yeah,
that.
I recall her being called that. That's why I also said.
That's why I keep getting shoved into this shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe you should have been born with a dick.
There's magic for that.
Yeah.
Carlos,
Part of her
experienced it
mutation.
firsthand.
Okay. What do we do,
All right.
Khutula?
I said it before we went on this fucking tangent.
She did. She did.
Vin sighs and casts message to Nephis. Very
Boy.
well.
Very well.
I
You'll
say,
see.
greetings, Mr. Nephis. How are you faring? The better half of me is getting antsy about your absence.
Yeah. That's your only response.
We didn't stop our progression towards the stronghold. We encountered a pretty big storm down here. Haven't heard from you in a while. Expected you would have contacted us sooner.
Oh, okay, bitch.
It's because you love us. That's why, out of love. Because you worry about us.
Okay, I guess the whole party's against me.
I love you.
And my wife.
All.
You did this to yourself.
I inform my wife that they've encountered harsh weather up ahead. And there's your report.
Okay, but she wants to know when they're coming back because they're a liability. That's the whole point of this. Is she's saying they're out there by themselves, they're alone, they could be captured, they could jeopardize
No,
our
they're
march.
not captured. They're fine.
Okay. No, that's fine. If that you tell her that, that's the conversation.
That's what I
cool.
tell her.
Good
Khutula
stuff.
fidgets anxiously.
Like, dumb bitch. Not captured. What's the issue?
I'm not going to rat out on the boys.
The it's just boy talk. Can't you tell?
Hell yeah.
I will not reveal my group chat to my wife.
I can see Vinshenzo turning around, walking out of the tent, flipping his hand, and saying, "Oh, boys will be boys," and then just fucking off.
Yeah.
Isaac, you were summoned for this because you're part of the posse.
Bitch.
You're the good one, so you're not getting in trouble. You're just there.
Capable.
Why can't the
Capable
other
little
men be
soldier.
more like Isaac?
How ironic that the one person
Never speaks unless spoken to.
that the one person with military training was the one to desert.
He's like, nah, I've done with this bullshit before. Never again.
It's fucking stupid. I'm not getting attacked by an underground shark. Fuck you guys.
Mr. Nephis has a bit of a temper and he tends to wander off when things don't go his way.
Deadly. All right.
Tell her my secret.
Oh. So we're gonna zip zap zoopity zop back to the two stranded in a rock.
He's fine. He's just cowering in a cave somewhere.
So you two, well, I assume you find yourselves still in the same place in the morning. The storm has subsided. Some birds are chirping. The sun is peeking out through the clouds. It's a beautiful post-storm morning.
Did the army encounter the storm at all?
No,
Oh, hell yeah.
they're like 4 days behind.
So it dissipated before it got to them.
It just continued on. They haven't reached it yet.
We killed the storm.
The storm is
Killed the
moving.
storm.
Yes.
Well, at least they have warning of the storm now. You're welcome.
Yeah, you fucking dumb bitch. Dumbass
Fucking
bitch.
losers.
Fucking dumb
Carlos
woman.
sends his regards.
Welcome to the overground.
Welcome to the overground, bitch.
You're in my house now. Okay, anyways, yeah. So you're it's morning. The storm has subsided.
I undo the sled and I peer outside.
I also look outside.
You'll have to stand up. The sled's particularly large.
I will stand.
You're short.
Yeah.
It's approximately small. So you stand up and you look around and you see on the other side of the bank of the stream, along the footpath that you had identified previous night, a large collection of people walking back to the village, bringing horses and carts full of belongings. They seem to be moving in the direction of the town.
Oh. Are they armed?
Some of them are. There are also women and children and old people amongst the crowd. There are men and women on horseback, carrying spears, bows, not out or anything. It doesn't look like they're ready for combat. It just looks like they're traveling in the direction of town. They are all dressed very similarly to the Dordians that you had met the last time you had seen the horsemen.
Do you think we should
When I say
hunker
similarly,
down?
I mean like style of clothing. It's not like a specific uniform or anything, just
It's
for
his
the
brother.
sake of it's his other cousin and his whole clan. Woo! Anyway,
do you-
so that's what you see.
Do you think we should just hunker down and let them pass? I'm not sure how they feel about outsiders.
I don't care for mingling with these outlanders. Just pack up and leave. If they try coming at us, they'll regret it.
We have an army behind us after all.
Very well, indeed. I help Nephis pack up if that's what he wants to do,
He's talking about he's gonna personally kill them and the women.
and the children, and the old people,
Based.
Yes.
especially the children. Harvey, quit licking your feet.
Yeah.
Eat them.
Fuck. Stop licking your feet.
Okay. I do not try to like be silent setting up. I just go for efficiency.
I help.
Okay. Well, you are spotted. But nobody like makes a rush at you or anything. In fact, it is a child who took a break from walking with his mom to rush over to the bank, pick up a particularly flat-looking stone, and getting ready to throw it at a frog. When mid-arm raise, he looks up and he sees Carlos carrying whatever item he's packing. He drops the rock, kind of forgetting about it, points at you directly and says something in a native tongue, calling to his mother, and other villagers look over at what the child is pointing out, and they see Carlos and Nephis packing up their bags. The child waves at Carlos, and the mother just kind of is staring at you both, it seems like she's trying to figure out what the fuck's going on.
I return the wave, but kind of just like hesitantly, like, okay, hi, yeah, I see you. Kind of
Look, mommy,
Stop.
slept in a cave.
stop pointing at me, kid. Kind of wave, like, okay, yeah, hi.
Some of the armed horsemen do notice the commotion as well. You easily see that half a dozen of them urge their horses into trots, and they move ahead of the group, making faster speed towards the town and the narrower section of the stream.
Oh.
You, I don't know how actively you're watching this group of people, but I'm just going to have this happen in real time until you interject and let me know if you're going to do anything. But the
I
horsemen.
continue packing.
Okay.
Yeah.
So as you guys are packing, the horsemen get around the stream and start coming down towards you. There's nowhere else to go. There's nothing else interesting. They're coming down your side of the stream towards you. Their weapons are not raised, but they do appear to be cautious.
I drop everything I do and I stand facing towards them, holding my hand on my hilt with furrow brow, and I shake my head as they approach.
All right.
Locking
Well,
eyes with them.
as you do that, the
Intimidation?
leader of the group. Yeah, you can roll intimidation, but the leader of the group kind of stops up his horse and they pull up short a good 30, 40 feet from you.
I got a
And-
15.
15.
And the way I'm
Okay.
shaking my head is like, no, don't fucking even think about it.
Don't try it.
Okay. Well, as you make his head shake, the horsemen, at the quick whistle from the leader, begin to spread out,
Big
starting
mistake.
to envelop the area around you guys. Again, they're 40 feet separation, and they're keeping that distance, and they begin to fan out in a semicircle, sort of entrapping, closing off avenues of travel for you. And while they do not move closer, they seem to have no intention of going farther away either. The leader who you had locked eyes with also rests his hand on the hilt of his weapon and keeps locked with your gaze. And while he says nothing, he's not looking away, and he's not leaving your gaze.
Continue packing, Carlos.
All right.
Yeah.
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 Well, they don't make any moves towards you. They watch you pack for the duration of your packing. The group of villagers, after a bit of time, there's not a lot of them. They've made it to the town by now, and you can see them sort of dispersing amongst the footprint of the town. The horsemen stay between you and the town. One or two more horsemen at the end of your packing arrive to reinforce the group, and they join the semicircle sort of behind the leader. A quick conversation in a native tongue between the two extra riders and the leader, who does not shift his gaze away from Nephis at all, sends them into the line, further sort of cutting off your access of travel. You are not surrounded yet, and it doesn't seem like they are making efforts to cut off your escape.
They're just preventing us from going further towards the town, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
But they're still maintaining that 40-foot gap. The two horsemen that just arrived, they have bows. They have arrows knocked to the bow strings, but they're not drawn. They hold the bow and arrow in one hand, sort of resting on their legs, in their stirrups.
I wait for Carlos to fully set up the sled.
I do that.
Hell yeah. Nephis steps onto the sled and tells Carlos, Let us out of here. Avoid them.
He wants Carlos to.
Yes.
Okay.
And Nephis stands on the sled, facing full body towards the leader.
All right. Nephis, I'd like you to roll acrobatics as Carlos begins directing the horse and sled away.
Oh no.
I get a motherfucking 39.
Jesus
Damn.
Christ. Have you ever seen somebody subway surfing? Nephis makes them look like pussies. Like, as the horse and sled start jolting forward due to the nature of physics ingrained in an object like that when it moves, he looks as though he's completely standing still. He maintains his balance perfectly. As you ride off, Carlos, the horsemen follow at a trot, keeping the same spacing. Again, I'm just going to move forward until you interrupt me. They follow you for about a half hour. They follow you until they are satisfied that you're not going back. If at any point in time this half an hour you would like to do something, totally up to you, but that's how long they intend to continue on their course of action.
Once they stop following, I'll break my power stand.
So you're happy with like a gaggle of about 11, what is it, so 6, half a dozen plus 8 horsemen just following you for half an hour. I'm only asking because I want to make sure.
If they don't approach or draw their weapons, absolutely, yeah.
Deadly. All right, so after about that amount of time, they stop moving. You begin increasing, like the distance between your two groups increases, and then after.
Once they stop following, though, if one's still looking at me,
they're watching you the whole time. Okay.
What are you gonna do?
Fuck you. I give the in-universe.
He bites to summon him.
Yeah.
Flick my nose. Okay. Well, they don't make any gesture, and as you after a good 5 or 6 minutes of you continuing to travel down the valley, they eventually turn and ride back to whence they came.
Hell yeah.
Okay, it is 10:36 according to my stove clock, which means we have concluded our session for this week. I hope you guys enjoyed. I know it wasn't the most action-packed thing in the world, but in terms of progress, a lot of mileage was made and a lot of ground was covered.
Yeah.
Pretty cool. And some plot points were revealed and some names were generated.
Yep.
Nephis got to flex on a bunch of natives.
He flexed on the fucking natives.
Fuck.
Told them to
You
go
know
fuck
they were.
themselves.
You know they were impressed. Like, damn.
Yeah.
Didn't move.
No, they didn't. They were scary enough to keep their distance.
Boots. I stepped in some doggy doo-doo.
So tomorrow I am moving out of my current apartment and moving back to my parents. So I am not sure what my situation for next week will be, but